existing texture pretty much perfectly because it's the exact same purlin noise. So all the contours match the contours of our sand dunes. We do have a little bit of artifacting just because of the nature of the texture and the alpha masking. So we're going to do a little bit of a blur filter to remove those artifacts. And this kind of works out well because the rock is going to be have harder edges, whereas the sand dunes, due to wind or any of that kind of stuff, it's going to be a little bit softer. So a blur actually works well in our favor here. We're going to do the texturize again, which applies the texture to the noise filter again to the whole texture, but it's way too much on our previous texture, so we're just going to alpha mask that again. And then we have kind of our grainy sand dunes and our more grainy rock. You also notice we have a bit of artifacting here with some kind of white noise. This is because this texture that we're doing right now is 800 by 400, but the actual textures that we're using for all of these planets and all of the suns, we're generating them at 2048 by 1024. And at that high resolution, you can't tell. These artifacts don't happen. And so again, when we apply it back to our planet, we can see we have our sand dunes that are merged directly into our rock place. And we have these kind of nice topological effects with some interesting random pieces that are placed along our planet. And so now we're back at the actual challenge, and the challenge was, can we procedurally generate a convincing habitable planet without the need for texture? So this is the texture that we're going to need to duplicate, and this is going to be quite difficult because we have all of these continents that are different shapes. We have small little pieces for islands. We have these oceans that have currents in them. We have poles that only exist at the top and bottom. And within these continents, they're not just simple colors. We have a little bit of green in Africa. We've got this mountain band, and then the rest is kind of pretty much desert. Whereas this continent for South America has a ton more green, a little bit of desert, some mountainous areas, and snowy peaks. On top of that, we're going to need to create a dark map. So we're going to need to take whatever our color map was, we're going to need to make it seem as if it's lit from the night side, and we're going to need to define habitable areas and put some city lights there. And finally, we're going to need to create a cloud map with some kind of wispy clouds that we can place within our